since like I said, it's kind of gigantic and complicated. It's probably gonna run kind of slow because I'm screen recording, but so yeah, like I said, it's huge. It's probably too big. I think if I did it over again, I'd do it in pieces and then just piece it together. Um, but it's basically it's I guess map wise, it's technically like northern Indiana because it's like smack dab in the middle of the country. Um, but I mean, really, is just it kind of encompasses like all the Midwest. Like there's all kinds of features of it. Like this direction is more sort of like Chicago, Illinois, sort of style. Like rolling plains and stuff like that. So this is in this area. I'm sort of basing on Michigan City, Indiana, which is like right next to Illinois. Um, and then this direction would be more kind of East Coast. When it's finished, it's still in progress. That's why it's all just sort of like this. Um, and then actually, I'm going to extend a part up here too. That's going to be a CN, Canadian National Line. It'll be like northeastern U.S. Um, and then this direction is like Pennsylvania, so it's really mountainous and there's lots of big curves and it's like steel country. Like there's a steel mill down here. Um, so like I said too, it's got tons and tons of industries. Um, so here I'll go and I've got all the bookmarks is basically where I'm working on it right now. So like this is number one. And this is like I said, this is like heading towards like Michigan City, Indiana ish. Yeah, see, like I said, I use all like payware for my stuff. But scenery wise, um, it's mostly DES stuff and jointed rail is where I get pretty much everything. So then here I'll go to this section is basically almost finished. This is based off of a model railroader magazine article I found that had a track plan. So I basically just turned it into so like this would normally be an oval, and like this part would connect to that part down here. And I just stretched it out. So and then I just put some industries on it, and like there's a little yard. And, so yeah, so that's that. And I'm still kind of working on parts of it, but I mean, like the downtown is pretty detailed. And oh shit, too far. Yeah, so this area is pretty much done. Like the crossings, they sometimes work. They're set up right. I don't know. I think it's because I'm on a Mac. It glitches sometimes or something. I'm not sure. And then yeah, and then this direction there's even more. There's more industries. There's like a fuel oil place, and there's a cannery right here. And like they're sort of configured like as best I can. There's some glitches in the JR multiple industry thing that I'm not really sure why they won't go away because they say it should work. So I'm not really sure. Okay, so then this is a paper mill, and it's funny enough, it's based on a cannery in New England, but it's got too far. It's got a couple industry tracks, and like this is actually technically like the old building, but I still put an industry track there. There's one there, and this is actually part of, like I said, it's all looped. So this is an inner loop I made. So it starts right around here. I'll get to that in a second. There's a yard right there, but it starts here, goes all the way up to this part where there's a Y, and then it goes up to another Y up here. Well, actually, it's not a Y. It just connects to like the main line going through the downtown section, and then it comes to just outside downtown, and then down around here and back into the yard. So it's like I said, it's like a model railroad. It's like giant. And like I said, there's a freight yard. It's not a hump yard. It's just a sorting yard. But it's fairly large. It can fit, I think, like 2.5 mile trains, or maybe even longer. I'm not sure. For some reason, these won't work. I tried putting all these sound effect things in here, but they're not working. But then I also built like a little town around it. And then what I usually use this for, as far as like operations go, so there's a switching line up here. So it's just like you can run like local trains over this direction, and there's this big crisscross / Y, and it goes to this part, and there's a bunch of industries here, and then further this way, there's even more. There's like a whole industrial section. And again, like I usually just rip the stuff from either like model railroad or stuff like that. Some of it is actually based on real life stuff. Like here, I'll go over where it is. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, like over here. this is based on like a little area in South Bend, and like so is this right here. Try not to zoom too far. But like this, I just like ripped almost like straight from Google Maps, like pretty much this whole section. And same with up here, like these little like street corners, like I just basically went off Google Maps. Alright, and then this part's not finished. This is just out in the middle of nowhere. This is just like nothing right now. Kind of same thing here, although this is close to. So this is like supposed to be like the Pennsylvania sort of area. So you can see that there's like mountains and stuff in the background. And then over this direction, there's a seaport, like basically like a kind of a combination of like a Great Lakes and a like Atlantic seaport, like a East Coast Atlantic seaport. So I got ships there, and then a whole bunch of industries like dockside industries, and then I also made a town, and there's a train station that's I like super detailed. I just kind of went nuts, but like yeah, you can see it's like under renovation, and like there's a construction crew and there's buses. And you'll see when you play, like there's all kinds of sound effects in here too. Like it's this part I try to make like as real as possible, because it's really cool to come through here in like the engineer view, and through that corridor right there. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. And then this section I'm working on, but this is close to the steel mill, which I have the draw distance on kind of low, so that it runs faster. But I mean, you can see how massive this is. And I based this on another Google Earth image. I just try to match up like where all the buildings went. I gotta find an elevated track like that has a bottom to it. I can't really find anything that'll work, because that's what like the real thing does. So anyway, this is still ongoing, but it's a huge thing. I mean, there's just industries everywhere in the whole yard. And then over here, I based this on the Drybrook and Esopus Valley thing, the jointed rail route, but added my own kind of touches to it and expanded on it and made it a little bigger. But I base a lot of my like initial stuff on Approach Medium stuff, because he's super good at it. So that's kind of it for there. I already showed you that part. There's a whole bunch of industries here. It's kind of all along this. There's like an ethanol plant, and this is based on just south of South Bend, Indiana. So plenty of spots for like tank cars or hoppers or stuff like that. We got a little construction scene. And then unfortunately, with the Trains 19 upgrade, I lost a key asset, which was my terminal station that I had. I was pretty proud of. So I'll show you the remains of it, basically. Get to it. It's really slow because this area is super built up. I need a faster computer. So yeah, there was a terminal station here, but then I also added a through line. So this is like it's like a junction. So like here's an east-west trackage, which would be like a New York Central, like PRR, Chicago to New York line. This would be a Pennsylvania or Baltimore, Ohio, like north-south line that terminates here for the most part, but then there's one through track that keeps going north. So I was kind of proud of that. Is I made like this joint station. So like there's this huge like mezzanine, or not mezzanine, like a big like common area, and like there's even like there's like a tunnel where the trains coming from north and south go through here, and then I've also got a commuter line that comes through that has stops in here, and that's an electric line. So you can run like commuter trains there. It's like an intercity train or a interurban. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then the terminal's gone, so I gotta figure out what to do there. But this is actually, interesting enough, this is the original baseboard of the whole route. Was right here. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much most of the main highlights. Here's the last thing I'm working on right now. This is just based on a little town in Minnesota that I drive through occasionally. and it's just kind of cool because like there's tons and tons of weird intersections and angles and stuff like that that are cool to model. So as far as operation goes, though, so here's the kicker is like I said, I don't really know how to set up real railroad signals, and I just made them work so that like the AI just runs. So you'll find in a lot of areas there's just sort of signals everywhere, and you know, you got any insight or input on how these actually should be set up, I'm all ears. But like I said, I just make it so that the AI behaves, so that I can just run. I can just have trains running while I'm running switching operations, which is kind of neat. But so here's where I was trying to zoom. You know, I mean, I know that's sort of prototypical, but like I have no idea if these are the right type of signals or if they're in the right spot or anything. Um, so that's really the only other thing. And then also, if you are running the AI, I've got these whistleblower triggers kind of everywhere, so just be fair warned that it's going to blow the horn like crazy. But it's kind of what I like. Oh, and one last thing. This is a if you want to like drive the route like a car would. I put a little. This is just an invisible track. I mean, you can really put anything you want on here, but it's just kind of neat sometimes to go along that way. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm sure you probably, you know, if you got questions or whatever, you know, just reach out. It's a lot, so expect you will. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for whatever feedback you got. I mean, I don't know if I'll actually release this. I never really intended to. I sort of just built it for me. But yeah, I'm glad you're interested. So anyway, thanks.